And the crisis, of course, continues on the border. The media has decided that the conditions that those seeking asylum are facing in detention centers now deserve attention, despite similar crises in terms of large numbers and the detention centers being overwhelmed occurred during the Obama administration. So for months we were told there's no national emergency on the border, and now that there's these left-wing Democrats are going down to the border, like this freshman congressman from New York, and making allegations, in my view, without foundation, attacking the Border Patrol, who are just doing their best with the limited resources they have. And the response from the left wing and many media acolytes is to say, oh, we can't detain anyone who crosses the border illegally. We can't detain anyone who's asking for asylum, no matter how weak their claim. You know what that is? That's open borders. That's anarchy on the border. Even Jay Johnson, do you know who Jay Johnson is? He was the Obama Department of Homeland Security chief. And he said, you know, if they're going to decriminalize crossing the border, which is what a bunch of left-wing candidates are saying now, if you think it's bad now, it's going to get worse in terms of multiple worse. And you have this freshman congressman from New York calling these camps concentration camps? What a smear. What a smear, not only of the poor Border Patrol, the Customs Border Protection, the ICE people, but a smear of us, of you. You don't use the phrase concentration camp outside the Nazi narrative. They're trying to say, well, everyone knows, you know, concentration camp doesn't necessarily mean Nazi concentration camp. Oh, that's a lie. When I say concentration camp, what's the first thing that comes to mind? The Nazi concentration camps. And they're comparing our having to deal with this border crisis to our being Nazis. That's what the American left thinks of law enforcement. And I just hope the president recognizes that. He can expect no help from the American left, the hardcore left. You know, and these candidates running for presidency, if they've decided that open borders is the way in. Not every Democrat agrees with them. As I said, Jay Johnson said, well, this is just crazy town. And like everything else, Judicial Watch is front and center. So this congressman goes down to the border facility, makes these wild allegations, smears the Border Patrol agents who were there to protect her and protect us. So we've asked under the Freedom of Information Act for videos of that visit. And of course, we've been front and center on the border for years, while Congress and everyone else has been asleep up here in Washington, D.C. We've been talking about the terror threat there. Our people, my colleague Chris Farrell's down there in Guatemala with our other colleagues trying to figure out about the caravan long before the regular media was onto it. Our people have been down at the border dozens of times. And of course, we have litigation to try to uphold the rule of law on immigration. We stood against day labor sites. You know what day labor sites? Local governments fund sites where illegal aliens can get illegal work. We went in and tried to stop that. We were successful at times in doing that. We're challenging the sanctuary policy right now in San Francisco, the dangerous sanctuary policy that led to Kate Steinle's death and countless other deaths and carnage. You know, your safety is second to the politics of amnesty and these sanctuary policies. Now, the president has threatened Mexico. Mexico is trying to get a handle, much more of a handle, by deploying troops to their southern border, or police personnel, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the Mexican equivalent of what they're doing down there is. But that should result in a decrease. And he needs to deport people who are here illegally now. And he made noise about doing it, and the left went crazy. And the people they were focusing on deporting were people here in criminal violation of the law, meaning they had been ordered deported and were avoiding it. It's mass amnesty. And believe me, guys, it isn't about the Hispanic vote. Not every Hispanic wants open borders. Not every Hispanic wants amnesty. It's an insult. The left treats ethnic groups as like mindless blobs. But ethnic groups are made up of individuals who have their own views. As conservatives, we recognize individuals. And there are many, many Hispanics. We've done polling over the years that show many Hispanics, near a majority, want the rule of law enforced in immigration. And it's not about the Hispanic vote. Amnesty is about the illegal alien vote, which ties into the debate about the census. The Supreme Court absurd ruling on the census last week that has thrown a monkey wrench into Trump administration plans to include it on the census for 2020. I don't know if it's going to happen or yet. President Trump wants it to happen. His Justice Department and Commerce Department seemed to be giving up even before the fight was over. So he looks like he had to step in and do the right thing here and try to say, we're not going to give up that easily. They don't want the census question to ask whether about foreign nationals here in the United States, because they want to erase, essentially, the idea of citizenship in the United States by having open borders, by having no distinction legally in terms of voting, government benefits, or anything else between citizens and non-citizens. It's erasing the nation. And my guess is there are a lot of recent immigrants who came here thinking, that isn't what I signed up for when I came here to become a U.S. citizen, or came here legally to benefit from this great nation with the hopes of potentially becoming a U.S. citizen. We speak for them in wanting our borders enforced, wanting the rule of law enforced. I've got this amazing idea for immigration reform, folks. Let's enforce the laws on the books. That's a radical concept. You can see the president isn't even allowed to do it. You have judges interfering, anti-Trump judges interfering in that process. So our republic is under assault from a variety of ways, and in a variety of ways, from open border fanatics, from the anti-Trump coup cabal, and it's all part of a piece. It's not like there's a grand conspiracy, but there's this general consensus that the rule of law and our Constitution is no bar to achieving or obtaining or retaining political power. And politicians of both parties are often tempted to do that, but it's a particular virus among the left right now. So, and your Judicial Watch is doing its darndest, more effectively than Congress, more effectively oftentimes than even the Justice Department and other agencies to protect the rule of law here.